Hey Cafe crew, Colin Smith here. That video you just saw, all of those shots that were kind of from seemingly impossible angles were all done using a 360 camera. So today we're actually going to have a look at using a 360 camera to add production value to your regular filmmaking. So we're not looking at it from a 360 or VR point of view. We're looking at how can we apply this to get those shots to beef up and add that little extra bit of juice to our videos. Hey Cafe crew, Colin Smith here from photoshopCAFE, and today we're going to have a look at the Insta360 ONE X camera. This is a 360 camera, but we're going to look at it as a creative tool for adding production value to our regular videos. So this comes in 5.7K, and what it essentially does is it shoots the entire environment all at once. In fact, let's have a look right now. We just pop open the box here. And if we look at the camera here, notice that it has a lens on the front and a lens on the back. Essentially what it does is when we record, it captures the entire environment, and that enables us later on to move the camera around, reframe the shot, and essentially walk around like you're a camera operator in post-production. So it captures the entire environment so you miss nothing, but then later on we can go in and we can get different shots. So the cool thing about this is you can mount it different ways. You can mount it on drones. You can mount it on cars. You can put it up high, you can put it down low. There's a lot of different things you can do with this to make it look like there's a camera person following you around. So the Insta360 ONE X is 5.7K video camera. Now the reason that's 5.7K is it gives us that extra resolution so it doesn't look all soft and grainy when we frame it into a regular shot. Okay, so this enables us to shoot still photos and video of the 360-degree environment. Same thing with the photos. Take one photo, you've got everything, frame it later on exactly how you want to display it. So this has stabilization called flow state stabilization. So this is going to get rid of the shakies to make the shots useful. So we're going to compare it to the two most popular action cameras on the market right now with stabilization. GoPro Hero 7 Black Edition with the amazing inbuilt stabilization. Of course, just came out the DJI Osmo Action, which has the rock steady stabilization. So I'm going to compare them using this little device here. It's actually a Padcaster built for an iPad, and it just has a frame. It's essentially a metal frame with cheese holes in it, which just means that you can attach different things to it. So I've mounted these different attachments on here, and so I can walk around, and what one camera is seeing, all the other cameras are seeing. So let's have a look at the stabilization. Okay, so we've got all these cameras on right now. And I'm going to hook record on all of them. Right now we're going to walk. So I'm just walking straight forward. And move around. That is walking. And this time we're running. Making this very, very shaky right now. And we'll see how that looks. Just right now, with a little diffusion, side to side, forwards and back, up and down, twisting, and then shaking in all areas. Just right now, with a little diffusion, side to side, forwards and back, up and down, twisting, and then shaking in all areas. Okay, let's do the shake test. Just shaking it like crazy. Okay, up and down, side to side, angles, backs and forwards, and just full on shake. So as you can see, all these cameras stabilize, but the 360 does exceptionally well doing a diagonal turn because of its 360 axis. But the other thing is, the other cameras can't do this. In a minute we'll talk about post-production, but let's continue talking about the One X right now. So it comes with this nice little sleeve here, which is very important to put it in there because the fact it has a lens on the front and a lens on the back. You don't want to put it down because then you can risk scratching one of those lenses, so always keep it in this protective case. The other thing that's nice about it is it has a selfie stick, so it just slides into this here, and this is the one made by Insta360. And the nice thing about this is the blind spot where it stitches together is in the bottoms. So I can get this very quickly up and down and get this away from me, because a 360 camera is not going to look so good if it's really close to you, because you're blocking a lot of the field of view, and essentially a lot of the interesting shots of the environment are going to be lost. You want to get it up there into the environment to get those better shots. Now this has a micro SD slot in the bottom where you can put a micro SD card in. You can shoot with that. Battery lasts about an hour or so. It has a screen on the front, so if we turn this on, you can see the little LED screen. It enables us to shoot HDR video, photos, time-lapse. Has a lot of different functionality. Bullet time, where you can kind of spin it around and get that matrix effect as it's going around recording in extreme slow motion. So there's a lot of different things you can do. The things I don't like about it, let me just get those out of the way right now. With this particular case, it's very easy to bump the button and turn it on by accident. It doesn't have an auto time off, so a lot of the time I go to use this, the battery's dead because I accidentally turned it on. The other thing I don't like about it is the screen here is kind of difficult to see outside during daylight. Apart from that, I'm really happy with this camera, the way it performs, the stabilization, and the different kinds of shots that you can get with it. Right now, this is my favorite 360 camera. And inside the box, we've got different cables. So we can actually attach this to here, plug it into our phone. This also works wirelessly through your phone, so you can use your phone as a display to see exactly what's happening and control some certain things there from the app. But the other thing that's nice is when it comes to post-production, there's three options. One is to use the app, so we can actually attach this to our phone, do the editing, export the video. And one of the nice things about the phone app is you can actually tap to do tracking, and it will track that object in 360 space. So that means if an object is walking around the camera, it will constantly track it. Or we can use the Insta360 app on our laptop or desktop computer. Okay, so here we are on the Insta360 website. Let's go to the downloads. And we want to go under the One X downloads. Make sure you get the Insta360 Studio 2019 edition. And this one supports the One X. We've got Windows, Mac. Okay, and here's the app. This is the Insta360 Studio. Make sure you've got the 2019 edition or newer. And then all we need to do is take a clip and drag it into there to load it in. And you'll see it will automatically play. Okay, right now we see the 360 view. What we want to do is reframe it so it fits into regular video. We're going to choose free capture. And then here we can move around and we can recompose it. So if you look at it, we can see it front on, we can go up or down, we can scroll through the entire 360-degree spectrum. All right, so here's our clip. So why don't we move into where we want our shot to start? I'm going to say about here somewhere, and click there to set the endpoint. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that around so I've got a nice front-on view. Now I want to add a keyframe, so otherwise it won't stick there, it'll just go wherever it wants, and this will make it stick to this view. And then once a keyframe is on, you see some options here. I'm going to click the left one here, which is just going to straighten up, give me a fisheye view. But I like the fisheye for that. I'm going to push it back a little bit. And now when I hit the play button, this is going to be the framing of the shot. Now if I want to move from this to another shot, what I do is hit another keyframe, and then that locks it into this position. I'm going to play just a couple of seconds and tap again. So the reason I did that is because I don't want this to be moving the entire time. I want that straight shot, and now I'm going to start transitioning into a new shot. Now this is just a quick tutorial. If you want a much more in-depth tutorial, drop a comment and let me know. If I get enough comments, then I'll do a more in-depth tutorial on this. All right, so now that we've got that going there, why don't we move it around to a different shot? So we're going to pan it around to look at the road. I'm just going to tap here on my fish there, and that will just straighten it up. And now if we look at this shot here, you'll see what happens. It goes there, now it flips around to the other shot. If you want that to happen a little slower, all we need to do is just separate these keyframes a little bit more. And watch what happens. Now it happens slower. So you can control that by making those keyframes closer together. The movement will be quicker, further apart. The movement will be slower, more seamless. Now here's another thing. If you're working on a keyframe, let me click on the line in between. We actually have easing. And so this will enable it to just make the motion a little bit more fluid. So I'm going to choose to fade in and fade out. That's going to give me the smoothest movement. And let's have a look at it now. See that? So rather than just being that rough movement now, it starts off slow, speeds up, and then slightly slows down. Kind of like when you close a door. If you close a door at the same velocity the whole time, that door will slam every time. You always kind of slow it down before you close the door. That's what easing does. It simulates real world movement. And you can see now that camera is just going to keep tracking there. Now at any time we can add a keyframe. We can track this camera differently. We can look side on. We can go here. We can zoom in by using the scroll wheel on the mouse. We can zoom out, or we can even change the type. We could go to a planet. So if you watch this now, this is going to transition into the tiny planet. So if we go there, once again, that same rule applies. The keyframes are far apart. It's going to take a while for it to do it. So anyway, once you've done all your editing, you're going to set your out point. This is the section that we're going to export as video. Notice we've chosen 16:9. If it's not showing 16:9, just click on there. Change the aspect ratio. Now we want to export this to a video. We're just going to simply choose File, Export, click OK to save the changes. It's going to save it out as 1920 by 1080, which is HD. And I'm just going to call this one Car Move. And then I'm just going to click OK. And now it's exporting. And the third option is to use a plugin which was automatically installed into Premiere Pro when you install the Insta360 software, which is free. And you can use that plugin to edit it inside of Premiere Pro. All right, here we are in Premiere Pro. Let me double click here. I can grab one of our INSV files. And because that plugin's there, as you can see there, I can double click and I can view this inside of Premiere. Now I could build out a timeline, I could build a sequence, I could create one here, just a VR one like that. One of the tools in Premiere enables us, we can click here, we can toggle that on or off. If you don't see it, hit the plus button and it's there. And you can just kind of add that from up here, just drag that in. And that enables us to view that, move it around, and also there's some different filters that work in here. If we go under effects and type in VR, and you'll see these immersive video ones here. So as you can see here, we've got a bunch of VR and immersive video filters that will work. But for the sake of this tutorial, taking a 360 and making it look like regular video, I would use the Insta360 app, which works really well. So there we have the Insta360 ONE X action camera. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this? Have I convinced you that you can do more with the 360 camera than just 360 VR, that you can actually use it in your everyday workflow? Or are you more interested in using this as a 360 camera? Let us know in the comments underneath. If you like these kind of videos, hit the subscribe button right now, get a new video from me every week, ring the notification bell so you know when I upload. If you like this video, smash the like button into dust, and until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.